as suggested by grade 1996. To design a course based on learners' needs, the course designer is expected to follow a particular procedure with 7 steps. They are 1. Conducting needs analysis. 2. Determining goals and objectives of the course. 3. Conceptualizing content. 4. Selecting and developing materials and activities. 5. Organizing the selected materials and activities. 6. Evaluating. And 7. Considering resources and constraints. Needs assessment or needs analysis is the first step to the process, which seeks and interprets information about learners' needs, so that the course can address them effectively. Richard 1980 categorized needs into objective and subjective needs. The former, objective needs, focuses on the factual information about learners, their use of language in real target communication settings, and their current language proficiency and difficulty. Meanwhile, the subjective needs mention the cognitive and affective needs of learners in the learning situation, such as personality, confidence, attitudes, etc. Assessing objective needs includes 3 pieces of information about 1. The learner's background, such as countries and culture, education, family, profession, age, language spoken, etc. 2. The learner's proficiency or abilities in speaking, understanding, reading, and writing English. And 3. Learners' needs of using English outside the classroom. Meanwhile, assessing subjective needs involve learners' attitudes towards the target language and culture, towards learning and towards themselves as learners, learners' expectation of themselves and learners' underlying purposes in studying English, and learners' preferences of how to learn. From different perspectives, Hutchinson and Wolf, 1987, proposed the concept of target needs and learning needs as we have already mentioned in the previous clip. Different learners have different needs, so the information gathered in needs analysis helps teachers make choices of what to teach and how to teach. The needs of learners and other stakeholders of a course, such as teachers, sponsors, parents, administration, should be all taken into consideration. So when to conduct needs analysis? Depending on one's context, needs analysis can be conducted in the planning stage, in the teaching stage, or in the re-planning stage when assessment must be modified in some way. Another factor to decide when to assess needs is the teacher's view of the purposes of needs analysis. Many teachers view this as an ongoing part of teaching. The reason is that it may take time to establish the kind of rapport with learners for a clear understanding of it. Also, needs analysis can be viewed as the teaching tool that enables teachers to work in partnership with their students to determine needs and ensure that the course meets their needs. And now, how to conduct needs analysis? Teachers will use a variety of tools, such as questionnaires, interviews with learners and others, or observations. Tests and interviews that measure proficiency are also part of needs analysis. The reason is because they help determine what learners have already known and where they are lacking. Teachers may also design in-class activities for the first day of the class to measure learners' proficiency in reading, writing, speaking, and listening. The second step in course design is determining goals and objectives. Goals, according to grade 1996, are all general statements of the overall and long-term purposes of the course. Objectives are specific ways in which the goals will be achieved. In other words, when goal is the course destination, objectives are guiding points towards the destination. Why is setting goals and objectives important? Firstly, it provides a sense of direction and coherent framework for the teacher in planning the course. By breaking goals down into specific objectives, the teacher can conceptualize the course as teachable chunks and choose the appropriate contents and activities for the course. Secondly, determining goals and objectives provide a framework to evaluate an activity's effectiveness, to see whether it helps learners achieve or make progress towards the goals and objectives. The matter here is how to choose appropriate goals and objectives. 4 types of goals for language learning are suggested by Term 1992, including proficiency goals, cognitive goals, affective goals, and transfer goals. Proficiency goals include general competency, mastery of foreign skills, or mastery of specific language behaviors. Cognitive goals include mastery of linguistic knowledge and cultural knowledge. Affective goals include achieving positive attitude and feelings about the target situation, about the target language, achieving confidence as the user of the language, and achieving confidence in oneself as a learner. Transfer goals involve learning how to learn, so that one can call up on learning skills gained in one situation to make future learning challenging. The third step is conceptualizing course content. In this step, teachers identify which aspects of language and language learning to be included, emphasized, and integrated in the course. There are different ways of conceptualizing and textualizing content arranged in the chronological order. The traditional way of conceptualizing content is grammar structures, sentence patterns, and vocabulary. They include rules of word formation, pronunciation, grammar structures, and relationships among words at the sentence level. Then, the communicative approach has added several dimensions in conceptualizing content, namely language functions, notions and topics, and communicative situations. Next, the proficiency movement and the development of proficiency guidelines have emphasized a 4-skill-based approach. Accordingly, the combination of listening, speaking, reading, and writing, together with their sub-skills and processes, are added in the course content. Later, a competency-based approach to course design as a combination of communicative and task-based approaches, which are the necessary language and behavior to function in the situations related to living in community and finding and maintaining jobs. The role of culture in language teaching is on increasing attention as it provides a broader and deeper context for how one knows or determines what is valued, appropriate, or even feasible. Later on, the learning of language through or in conjunction with subject matter can also be the focus of a language course. Such courses are called content-based. Another major change in how teachers conceptualize content has come from the teacher's concept of what to teach, such as the learner's attitude, self-confidence, motivation, understanding and developing learning skills. Most recently, for some teachers, learners are expected to participate in determining the content of the course to prepare themselves for the situation outside the classroom. Thus, these teachers ask learners to engage in participatory processes. Selecting and developing materials and activities is the fourth step of course design. Selecting materials refers to the development of new materials when teaching a course for which there are no suitable materials, compiling a number of materials, or adapting existing materials. This step is affected by different factors, among which the most important ones are 1. The material's effectiveness in achieving course goals and objectives, and 2. The appropriateness for students and teachers. Appropriateness refers to learners' comfort and familiarity with the materials, language level, interest, and reference. Visibility and availability are also important to consider. Because of the lack of time or administrative requirements, many teachers choose to adapt a certain. However, it is important to remember that a text or a coursebook is not the course. Textbooks are tools that can be divided and then rearranged to suit the needs, abilities, and interests of the learners in the course. After being selected, content and activities are organized following a cyclical approach or a matrix approach to course organization. Both approaches suggest materials should be learned and activities should be conducted within the time frame. In the cyclical approach, a regular cycle of activities follow a consistent sequence. In the matrix approach, teacher works with a set of possible activities for a given time frame and then decide which activities to be used as the task process. The sixth step, evaluation, means evaluation within the course and the course itself. Evaluation within the course is to assess students' proficiency, progress, or achievement. How proficiency are learners in listening? Are they improving their writing skills? Have they learned to function in English in the workplace? Evaluating the course focuses on the course effectiveness. Was the course effective? In what way? Where did it fall short? Now what can be evaluated? Any part of the process of course design can be evaluated, including the assumption about an analysis of learners' needs, goals and objectives, materials and activities, means of assessing learners' process, learners' participation, learners' role, and teachers' role. Thus, each element of the framework is itself subject to evaluation. The last step, consideration of resources and constraints, is referred as problem-type. Defining the challenges of one situation to make decisions about what to do. The resources and constraints of one situation can take tangible or intangible forms, such as physical and material resources, the availability of technology, time limitation, kinds of activities, etc. In Module 5, we have looked at two basic things the teacher should consider in designing a course. The teacher may strictly apply the learning restricted syllabus, which is systematic presentation of the language issues with no input from learners. Another approach to course design is the skills and strategies approach, which is intended to enable learners achieve the purpose of constantly developing proficiency as the learner process goes on. Finally, the learning or learner-centered approach was discussed, in which the teacher only influences the learning process, but the learner determines what he or she wants to learn. This unit has identified the steps a course designer should follow in order to design a successful ELT course. It starts with finding out the language needs of the students that are undergoing the course. The course designer translates the information gathered from this analysis into syllabus design by determining goals and objectives, conceptualizing the plan, selecting, developing, and organizing materials and activities, evaluating the course, and considering resources and constraints. That brings us to the end of this module. See you in the next module.